This clip will explain to you how to talk about what you have to do. If you're like most teenagers, and I'm guessing, given I know you guys, you're all teenagers who won't just do chores to help out around the house, I'm thinking it's because you have to do them. To do this in German, we use what is called a modal verb, müssen. Müssen is in a group of verbs that all operate in the same way, but we're only going to concentrate on the one, müssen, to have to. First of all, like always, to use a German verb, we need to know how to change it, and this is called conjugation. So how do we change it for each of the people that we talk about doing things? Ich muss, du musst, sie, es, muss. The first three are all irregular. If you think back to our original verb müssen, it had umlauts on the top. In ich, du, and sie, es, the umlauts are not used. The remaining conjugations keep those umlauts in because remember, irregular verbs only change the vowel a couple of times. So wir müssen, ihr, which is the plural you, like use if we want to be really bad in English, ihr müsst, and then the two z's at the end, sie müssen for they must, and sie müssen for you must, if you're being formal or polite. Now let's have a look at where they actually go in the sentence. If we take a look at this example of I must do my homework, müssen is the verb that goes in second place. The must is the müssen. The other verb, because müssen doesn't work without another verb, do, in this case is machen, and that goes all the way to the end. And you can see here in the en form. So what we end up with is ich muss, my homework, meine Hausaufgaben, and then that second verb, the one that actually says what you have to do, is machen, and it's always, when you're using müssen or any other modal verb, at the end in its en form, which is known as the infinitive form. Let's have another look at an example, and remember, the must has to go second with the other verb going to the end. So now have a look at these two examples. We've got the must in again, and our other verb, which makes sense of it all, is the wash. So we have ich muss. Now in German we don't have to say what you're washing because that verb you know for to wash the dishes indicates it's the dishes you're washing. Remember, abwaschen, and that goes at the end in its en form. Ich muss abwaschen. I must wash the dishes. Now let's have a look at something where it's not you, it's not an ich. My sister. If you think back, that would be sie, so meine Schwester, and the sie that was with the sie, es form was muss again, and then the word for vacuum, saugen. Meine Schwester muss saugen. Let's have a look at some examples where we add other details in now. Firstly, you need to remember our general sentence pattern rule for German. S, V, Tomp. Now, if you think about this with modal verbs, this V here is always going to be your modal verb, and in this case, it's our müssen verb. So if we look at the example, I must wash the dishes every day, the I is our S, must is our V. Next we have our T. Can you remember what the T stands for? Time. And that's every day. Our object, the thing we're washing, is the dishes. And our wash is what's left. Remember, that's that other verb, and it has to come all the way around to the end in the en form. So what we end up with is ich. You know now that the ich form of müssen is muss. Our time comes next. SVT for time. Jeden Tag. Now, if you didn't already know from the verb that the dishes were included, we would need to say the dishes. But remember, in this case, we don't, because abwaschen means dishes washing. So abwaschen. Ich muss jeden Tag abwaschen. So what you've done is given more detail, which when it comes to your oral assessment is important, because you need to talk about how often you do things in order to get to that higher level grade. Let's have another look at another one. Remember, SV top, and that en verb goes to the end. So our S is my sister. Must is our verb. We don't have a T in this sentence. We don't have a time. We don't have an object as such, no manner, but we do have a place, the living room, and we're going to put an in there, in the living room. And vacuum is this other verb here, which has to come around to the end in its infinitive, en form. So, meine Schwester, and can you remember, meine Schwester generally would be seen as a sie, so it's a muss. In the living room. Now these words are in a list, which you will also find on community files. There'll be a page reference to that on the exercise sheet that you'll get with this. Im Wohnzimmer, living room. And I'm going to run out of room on my screen. And saugen at the end. If you wanted to say when she does that as well and take that up to that extra high level, follow the same pattern, but this time we've got to put in our on Saturday is our time. So it goes where the T is in the SV Tomp. So meine Schwester, and I'll try and write a little smaller. Meine Schwester muss. Now we've got our time. Am Samstag im Wohnzimmer for the place. And then our actual verb of action at the end in en form. Have a go at the worksheet now and see how you go with that. If you've got any questions, ask each other or perhaps post me a question on email and I'll do my best to get back to you. Good luck.